Welcome everyone back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. My name is D-Free. Here today in this video we are going to go ahead and talk about briefly the best team/team options for the new punching bag machine event, and we're going to talk about that. I'm going to give you guys the best tips and things like that, so be aware that of course it will be subjective based on what you do or don't have, so I want to try to give you guys just the options. So otherwise, hope you guys enjoy. Of course, hit that subscribe if you are new for more content. So currently there is a punching bag machine event over on the Japanese version of the game. It does feature prizes and stuff like that. I didn't get too deep into looking that up, so I can't really tell you a whole lot about that, but if you would like a update video on that, let me know in the comments down below. I know you get a stone, etc, etc, but long story short, you fight against the punching bags. And I'll show you guys at the end of the video a little bit of gameplay of me trying this. It's a little bit hard to do, kind of, because you can't use items, you can't use Devilman, you can't use all these other little tricks that would allow you to have an easier time, so you are forced to use units, right? So it's a little bit hard. You only have 2 turns to get it done. So we're going to try to go over it at the end of the video, but I do want to give you guys, again, the best option. So really quick down below, to make this a little bit easier for you guys personally, I'll leave these 2 links down below in the description. So this is a link for all the units that change key in the game versus also all the units that also get an attack boost of some sort, right? You know, 12%, 15%, 20% based on the orb obtained. So nuking isn't something I've had to cover in a really long time because I don't generally care about nuking in the game, for being honest. But what happens is when you use one of these leaders, right, any of these leaders, they pretty much offer a unit of the same color this massive attack increase, so 33% to tech types for every tech orb obtained and things like that. So around that, you use items or characters that generate more tech orbs, and then you let your tech characters get all of those orbs and they do an insane amount of damage, and that applies to every color, AGL, all that stuff. So that's the general premise on that. Again, there are a bunch of items that we just simply cannot use on this event that are like, I don't think they're in here anymore, but they're down here actually. So like the items can't be used, but for future reference, if you need a guide, I mean, this is really easy. If you're trying to nuke with AGL, you kind of go through this pattern here. So moving on, I want to start off and point out that there are a couple of really valuable leaders. So these guys are going to be a little bit underrated, but they're definitely not the best choices in general, but they are worth mentioning. 15% when he extremes Z awakens to attack and defense per key sphere obtained. He actually does not discriminate between colors, so all the other ones will discriminate between colors except for these 2. 7%. You know, not that good, but if you need it, you need it. So otherwise, your main goal is to try to build a team around one of these leaders right here at the very top. There's 2 for INT, because the Beerus also has the same leader skill as the baby Vegeta, and then there's SS3 Goku. There's all these other options as well. So that's your main goal. So I'm going to show you guys 5 different team options for those guys. So when it comes to AGL, the way I've laid this out for the future of this video is the left-hand side here features the units that are able to do the attacking. They're your main attackers. The right-hand side are your orb changers. The ones that are down here towards the middle are the ones that change orbs and also can function as an attacker, like this Goku, like Kefla, things like that. And then at the very top, of course, is the leader. So this is just, again, a very, very brief layout. Couple of notes. I would generally stay away from rainbow-centric orbs. Units that want rainbow orbs. So to explain, when you're doing nuking, right? At best, you can try to make your team as cute as you want it to be with all the orb changing, but at best, you will only get 5 orbs, minimum, or maximum, right? So you're probably going to get 3, maybe 4 if you're focused on units that want to get rainbow orbs. Now, the thing about that is this unit doesn't get an additional attack increase via passive per AGL orb or anything like that. He only gets it for the rainbow. So I mean, he isn't a bad unit, but he's not the best option. So I wanted to point him out. Again, try to stay away from orb changers that change to rainbow. And this, generally, they're really good in normal events, but here you want to avoid the rainbow orbs if possible. And if you have a unit that changes orbs from rainbow to another color, that is best case scenario. So that being said, these are your better options on the far left for attackers, and then this Goku is really good because he's able to generate ki and a 12% attack per orb, and also on the far right. These units here, their awakenings are a lot better, and of course this event is not on global right now, by the way, but I am showing the global database just because it's in English. This Trunks SR changes the rainbow orbs to AGL, so he'll be really, really good here, but these units here are double orb changers, so I'm going to show you them really quickly. They both change a couple of orb colors as well. So here we go. So he changes tech to physical and also STR to AGL. So double orb changing can be a very, very valuable thing. So physical types to AGL and then int types to physical types. So she's doing a lot. They're both doing a lot. And that couple of other orb changers does help out better, so you have to play with it a little bit. But moving on from the AGL centric team, again, you have to, you can blur the lines a little bit. Like you see 17's here, he's not technically in the AGL group, but if you need to dip outside of the AGL color, it really doesn't matter as long as your main attacker is an AGL type unit. So the Gotenks here, he gets 15% per orb. As long as your main attack unit is able to get the AGL orbs, it doesn't matter what other units you use to produce AGL orbs. Again, 17 himself produces AGL orbs, so on and so forth. So moving on to the Tech team build. Now Tech and INT are, by the way, going to be your best teams. They have the best options as far as attackers go. So this team is a little bit interesting, and the good news about this team and Physical is that they offer a leader that changes orbs on his own. So the Goku changes the rainbow orbs to tech orbs, and he also, of course, is the 33% tech type leader. So with him, you are able to have a bit more utility, especially because you'll have 2 of them out there. He also links solidly with, I guess, your attackers. Links are things that you want to have, but they're links and support passives for attack and select. They're stuff you want, but they're not necessary. Like, they help, but they're not necessary. Because by the way, I've heard people say that it's a cumulative thing because there's a bunch of punching bags, so like AoE nuking and stuff like that. Like that, I can't verify that. I've tried, and it's kind of hard. So if you're going to use an AoE nuker versus not, it doesn't. From what I've heard, it isn't a cumulative thing. But I've also heard people say it is a cumulative thing. It's just, we're trying to focus on hitting as hard as we can. You don't have to knock out all the punching bags or anything like that. But we do have our orb changes over here again, per normal, STR to tech types. And then she also deserves to be in the middle. She's supposed to be in the middle, but I mean, more so in the physical. But really, here, her main role is to be an orb changer. But she changes the int types to physical, and then, of course, she gets an attack per. But she wouldn't, if she was functioning as your attacker, she wouldn't get the 33% from the leader. So really, she deserves to be on the far right now that I think about it. But that doesn't apply to 18 here. 18 does produce orbs and gets an additional 12% attack and 7% defense while starting at 70%. So your main attackers are going to be on the far left. Like I said, 15% per tech orb. Over here, 12% per orb obtained. This does boost whenever he gets his Extreme Z Awaken, which, of course, we are on JP, so he has it. So I think that's about 15, right? The global database doesn't show, but I think it's about 15%. And he also, I believe, changes orbs on his own now, right? No, he doesn't. He gets additional key per rainbow. So it's 15% per key sphere. And he also gets an additional 1 key, but that's not really relevant here. He also has immense damage, so he's going to be your best option for tech, by the way. Like, you really want to use him. He's your best option. Otherwise, we have Broly and we have 17, who are both very, very powerful units as well. I'd say Broly is probably your next best option as well. So there's that. All right, moving on. We have the INT one. Now, INT, like I said, is your next best team. Other than tech, they're the best 2 because they have the best options. So we have orb changers here. Leaders, again, we have 2 leaders that both offer 33%. I would kind of probably recommend using this, Beerus, because like I said, you only get 2 turns to do the nuke. If you get unlucky and you have double babies and one of them decides to transform or whatever, well, that just wasted your attempt. And you apparently don't get unlimited attempts, because I can't take on the hardest stage anymore. It's weird, but you know, you're done. But it sounds like that's probably for like the day. But anyways, like that uses your attempt. That's it. So orb changes on the far right, changing orbs there. Also, we have access to this guy. He, of course, is another one of those units that functions in both ways, as a hitter and as an orb generator. But our main options for attackers are these on the far left. Of course, there are other options per color, but these are the main ones. Best one would be, of course, LR Gohan. He is your primary. Otherwise, you can use the Vegeta 20% plus. This Buhan's really good, Vegito, so on and so forth. But really, that's what it comes down to. Again, you're going to have to play with it. I'm going to leave these links down below in the description for the key change units and then the attack per orb units. But again, just play with it. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time going over this stuff, but because it's really just the same concept per team. But moving on from INT, here's STR. STR has a really, really good bunch of units as far as this is concerned. So we have orb changers on the far right again. Leader would be ideally this guy. Unfortunately, the same thing applies to him as it does to Baby. If they transform, you're kind of screwed. But I guess you can reverse them. If you reverse this guy, you get 3% less per orb obtained, which is good, but 3% makes a huge difference when you're getting a board of orbs. Per orb, that makes a really big difference, so you wouldn't want that. But, I mean, if you need to reverse him because they're transforming or whatever, do it, right? Otherwise, your next best leader would be the Goten, technically, who offers 15 via Extreme Z Awaken. Your orb changers are on the far right. Another unit that does a little bit of both right down here. And then your main attackers are on the far left. Gohan is actually a really good option for this, and he's a free-to-play choice as well. Other than that, I would say probably the LR here is the next best STR option, just because of the max key he has, 24, higher stats, all that stuff. He's probably the next best option if you do have that unit. But Gohan is a very, very powerful option as well. So otherwise, we have Barlet, and we also have access to Goku. So there's a lot going on here as far as these are concerned. 20% and then 15%. Like, you get a lot of attack generated from these units. So be aware of that as well. So again, primary premise is to try to hit hard. So these are our units here for this last build. Physical didn't seem to have a lot of option for multi-use, like the ones that go down in the middle, like the Trunkses and like the Keflas that do a little bit. I guess the Kefla, she's the unit, never mind. But they don't really have a lot of option as far as this is concerned. But they do have the orb changers on the far right. Here's that 17 I showed earlier, who's a double orb changer, so be aware of that. They also have the first double orb changer, which is the Weirus here, primarily one of the best units in the game for orb changing. We also have the Super 17. And onward, Kefla, she's probably your main attacker for this build just because of the fact that she gets 12% and generates orbs. Otherwise, this guy gets 10% with his awakening per orb. Goku here, 10%. Goku Black could be your primary attacker, not sure, haven't tested him, but he gets a flat boost per orb obtained, so it's kind of weird. So there's that. I don't think that there were very many other physical attackers that were really that great. Also, the leader, just like Tech, is able to produce physical orbs out of rainbow orbs as well, so he gets rid of those rainbows. Rainbows are good, but they're also bad because they don't get factored into the leader skill, but they're good because they break they allow you to have more paths. So if you're stuck and you don't have the path, you're kind of screwed. But let's go ahead and just try this really quick with my INT team. Again, not allowed to use any items. I don't know what happened to my 18. I think I trained her into another unit, but I mean, I do have another one to awaken, but I don't have her, so don't at me about that. But let's go ahead and see if we can knock this out. Ideally, like I said, you want to have Gohan on the second turn. You don't want them on the second spot or the first spot unless you can generate the orbs. It's really... Okay, he's not here. Okay, so this is good. It's actually not bad. I just need to avoid getting the orbs. So, if I recall correctly, Trunks changes STR orbs, right? I'm pretty sure it's STR, but I got to make sure that I'm on the right path with this, because Trunks and the Goku are the only ones that aren't here. Goku changes AGL, Trunks changes STR. They're both right here. So if I can avoid using those orbs, that just furthers Gohan, right? So we're going to go for that. And then this. Unfortunately, I do have to use something. I need to get that the physicals out, actually. I should have gone for the physicals. So this is why I said, like, I don't really try to nuke that often, but you got to be aware of that type of stuff. But the good news is it lined up nicely otherwise. So... really good setup for Gohan, actually. He gets access to a lot of powerful links. So I can get the physical orbs out of here, though. Alright, so those orbs did change at the end there. I can get the physicals out by using this Goku here. Gohan will get access to all of these orbs. And that's a very, very powerful nuke coming through. And that is max key, of course. And there's this. So let's see what happens ultimately. This should be the end of it. Oh my goodness, that attacks that. Alright, this freaking punching bag is getting destroyed. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, so it doesn't even... Okay, alright. It doesn't even... That normal attack did so much damage. It doesn't even factor in the damage. Like, you can't even hurt these things. So that's good to know. Like, it doesn't really matter, I don't think. I don't think it's a cumulative thing at all. It's just based on the amount of damage that you do otherwise. And then that would lead to your rewards that you would get. But really quick, before we get out of here, let me double check. You know, like I said, I just kind of want to do it, I guess, because it's a little bit easier if I just do it now. So, all right, jpn.dbz.space. So, mission rewards. This event can achieve the missions by achieving a certain level of damage in a single attack. Yeah, it's not cumulative at all. It's a single attack, like I thought. So since each stage mission reward is 3 stages are different, trying to choose a favorite stage, so it doesn't matter which stage you take. Stage 1 is the Zenny stage. Stage 2 is potential orb stages. Interesting. And 3rd stage is Dragon Stones, I believe. Okay. 1 by 1, Tatsuishi. So you get stage 1 through 3. You get 3 Dragon Stones total. Okay. So yeah, you get orbs. You get orbs for the second round and stuff like that. You get prizes based on what you do there. So it's a little bit confusing. Hopefully, I was able to explain it in a good manner for you guys. But Anyways, have an awesome day. Thank you for tuning in. Any questions down below in the description, like I said, there you guys can ask me any questions, but otherwise in the description there also are these links so you guys can look at them and build your own teams as well. So have an awesome day.